When my mind wanders, I often think about different strange outcomes that would be possible due to an infinite universe. It is one of the most fun topics of speculation to discuss between your group of friends. So today we will give you some new ideas to discuss with them by diving into 5 strange and interesting possibilities of an infinite universe. Number 5. You may meet yourself. When discussing an infinite universe, the scales that we are talking about are mind-numbing, so much so that we would not be able to comprehend them. But that being said, if you manage to get your hands on a spaceship that can travel at the speed of light, and some aging prevention technology, and headed out from planet Earth, and travelled in one direction, sooner or later, with the universe being infinite, you would reach an almost identical planet Earth, where perhaps you wore a different pair of socks today. The thought of traversing the universe just to end up back at planet Earth, but a different one, is actually quite terrifying. Would you be able to trace your steps back home? Or would you be stuck in this different Earth for the rest of your life? But perhaps what's more horrifying is knowing, due to the universe being infinite, and there being an infinite amount of you, and an infinite amount of possibilities, then with no doubts, there will be many versions of you that are really good people, who did absolutely positive things in their life. But contrary to that point, there would be infinite versions of you that would be completely evil, that would commit acts that you would never dream of doing in your worst nightmare. Meeting any version of ourselves would be a very trippy experience indeed, but it would be really insightful to pick your own brain, one that has been through different situations and may have encountered different obstacles throughout their life. Perhaps right now there is a version of yourself that is travelling through the universe. Who knows, maybe one day that version of you will show up here on our Earth and take you away to hang out with more versions of yourself, because you are just such good company. The only way to find out is wait and see. Number 4. Different outcomes to world events. Imagine the difference in a world where the Nazis won World War II, or if nuclear bombs were launched during the 1983 Soviet false alarm incident. The world would look like a much different place than it does now. The world that we live in is shaped by actions of many people, whether it be an entire country as a collective, or just one individual. For example, relating to World War II, a private named Henry Tandy spared the life of an injured German soldier during World War I. That soldier would go on to be known as one of the worst human beings to exist. Adolf Hitler. It goes to show you that the butterfly effect is real. Our actions have consequences, no matter how simple they may seem. Private Tandy didn't do the wrong thing. He did what he thought was right, and morally, it was most likely the correct decision. How was he supposed to know that this person would go on to be a fascist dictator? This for me opens up a wide new rabbit hole of deep thinking, as there are many decisions that we make in life. We are constantly making different mundane decisions, but we never know what the alternative option may have brought to light, as we have already made the decision and the outcome has already come to pass. When bringing infinity into the equation, there is an unfathomable amount of possibilities, whether that be here on Earth or out there in the vastness of the universe. Whole new undiscovered worlds out there that have infinite copies of themselves just like we do. Maybe one day we will discover solid proof of an infinite universe, but all we can do till then is speculate. Number 3. There was never a Fermi paradox. We on this channel are very familiar with the Fermi paradox, as we have a whole series on the subject. but we have yet to discuss the Fermi paradox when taking into account an infinite universe. Many scientists that speculate on the Fermi paradox predict that in fact the universe is too large for us to currently know whether we are alone in the universe or not. But when considering that the universe may be infinite, the possibilities come streaming in. Whether you believe that humans are the only complex life in the universe, if the universe is infinite, then we are actually not alone, because there will be an infinite amount of planet Earths out there, with many people who do not exist in our perception of reality, and on our Earth, so they are not of this world. I suppose this is sort of a technicality, but it is still an interesting one. While I myself do believe that there is more life out there in the universe, it just seems as if the prospect of there being an infinite universe just adds more likelihood that aliens exist. Right now, without concrete evidence of an infinite universe still within the observable universe, it is statistically likely that extraterrestrial life exists. The reason I say that the Fermi paradox in this scenario does not exist is because with an infinite universe, all of the hypotheses under the banner of the Fermi paradox would happen, whether it be a universe where humans are alone, or where there is ancient aliens, or a zoo hypothesis. All of these possible options would exist across an infinite amount of universes. This is mind-melting deep thinking at its finest here, ladies and gentlemen. What I can say about the thought of alien life within an infinite universe is that we have many friends to make, but we won't talk about the enemies. Number 2. You may be a galactic dictator. As stated throughout this video, when taking infinity into account, we know that there will be that many outcomes, with that many more following that, and so on. So that brings us to thinking that in an infinite amount of universes, there will be a galactic dictator who rules with an evil thumb over all of the people within the galaxy that they live. While the thought of this is completely bone-chilling, what shakes me more to the core, that in another infinite amount of timelines, you are the evil galactic dictator. This could be the complete opposite of you now experiencing your day-to-day life. You may be a great person, but as I like to say, you can only control what you can control. And in this hypothetical, where we 100% know that the universe is infinite, you cannot control what the other versions of yourself do. It is a very interesting philosophical question to ask yourself, which can relate to the world that we live in today. Many people hold grudges due to what others did years in the past. While it is reasonable to be wary, of course, the hatred of such groups for acts committed by long dead people is irrational and wrong, because as I stated before, you can only control what you can control, and you can only help put forward change, move on, and help guide people into a better, more positive future. The reason that this relates is that there really are infinite versions of you out there. The evil that they have committed is beyond comprehension, so you across another timeline have committed horrible acts out of your control. It is interesting to think of this perspective for sure. Even if you are a galactic overlord, at least there are timelines where you save the universe, so that is some reassurance. Number 1. Could an infinite universe mean there is a god? I myself think a lot about this perspective, and have not really heard it be spoken about very much, so I thought I would cover it here in today's video. While there are many spiritual and religious possibilities of an infinite universe, like other planes of existence, higher dimensions, etc., where a second body or a soul may be able to exist. If a branch within this infinite universe was to have a god, then would this cross over into other parts of reality, or would it just stay restricted to the universe that it's in? While the religious concept of God, through mainstream religions, is an omnipotent being that can do anything, this would suggest that if one existed in a reality, then it would likely be able to exist throughout the infinite universe as a whole. I feel as if it is a very interesting part of the infinite universe to think about, whether it be, like I say, a god or a different plane of existence. It tells us that it could be possible through these outcomes. While addressing this, I will add that it could be possible that one reality is a computer simulation, and if so, would that have a crossover and all of the realities are computer simulations? It's very hard for us to know. No matter your personal belief on the existence of higher dimensions and gods, it is very interesting to ponder on and wonder whether through the infinite universe we may learn of the possible existence of such a power. All we can do is keep deep thinking until we have some solid information. Thank you everybody for tuning in to 5 strange and interesting possibilities of an infinite universe. I had a lot of fun making this video, so if people enjoy it, I will keep making more videos discussing other more serious or even light-hearted possibilities of an infinite universe. I also wanted to say thank you for getting my channel to over 1,000 views over the entire channel. I really appreciate people checking out my videos, so if you don't mind checking out the rest of my channel and seeing if there's anything you enjoy, just subscribe to the channel if there is. I appreciate you all. Have a lovely day and peace.